Okay, let's head on home. Just got off work. Beautiful day today. Weather is nice. So for this video, I kind of wanted to just talk about conveniences of having a Prius. And the three main ones that I actually make that four. Let's make that four conveniences that I can think of. We got the compartments that the Prius has. The push to start, which is something that's not only on a Prius, but I want to talk about how convenient that push to start can be. And the fact that you never have to actually use the key fob or keys to get in and out of the car. The third convenience is the miles per gallon. How great it is to drive this car pretty much anywhere and be able to save a lot of money because of the hybrid system. And number four, we have the regenerative braking, which will help you save money on brakes and not having to worry about replacing them as often. I've heard stories about people not having to replace brakes for thousands and thousands of miles, which is kind of crazy to me. Okay, so let's talk about some of these things. So we have the compartments, which might not be that big of a deal to some, but to me it is. I kind of like having small little hidden compartments where I can put all my stuff. We have, of course, the two glove compartments. For the most part, cars are just gonna have the one at the bottom, but this one has the one at the top and the bottom, which I find it to be kind of useful if you want to put some extra stuff in there. I usually keep my glasses in there, maybe a face mask with all this stuff going on right now. And then at the bottom one, I'll keep stuff like my registration and my insurance card, along with my CDs. Which I know, it's 2021, what am I doing using CDs? And then over here in the center, we have your center console pocket there, which is where I normally just keep like a notepad, maybe some pens, a hand sanitizer. This is also where I hook up the audio jack in case I want to listen to music directly from my phone. And then you also have a connection for the 12 volt so that I can charge my phone, which is pretty useful. Another cool compartment that I really like, it's right below the CD player. Totally not that big of a deal. It's kind of small, but I kind of like having it. Most cars don't have the ability to close the cup holders, but the fact that you can kind of makes it pretty neat in my opinion. Then you have another interesting pocket down here, which is a compartment that I ended up finding out about later on. It kind of happened by mistake. I was just feeling around the car and then I felt the handle, I pulled on it and I saw that it opened up, which I was actually kind of surprised and I thought it was actually really cool. And now of course we have some more compartments over in the back. Let's go over those now. So yeah, this happens to be my favorite compartment in the Prius. It really comes in handy if I'm doing some grocery shopping and I need to put some extra items back there. Another really cool thing that I like is this little cover here. If there's any items you have in here that you don't want anybody to see, maybe you're on a camping trip and you have your luggage back there or your camera equipment or whatever it might be. If you kind of just want to cover it up so that people won't see it, you can put this cover over and that way it won't be seen. You've got a small little section over here, which you can put like a grocery bag or first aid kit, something of that matter. And then the bigger compartment is going to be down here. To unlock it, you flip these over, lift up the small tab here, and this opens up entirely so that you can fit some more stuff. I haven't put much in here. I'm going to keep the spare rear wiper. Over here you got your tools in case you need to change your flat, and the spare tire is kept down there. Now let's talk about the other thing, which is the key fob system that is found, I think, in pretty much all Priuses. A lot of Toyotas have this too. Many other cars do. The convenience of never having to actually use a key or hitting the lock and unlock button, I think is extremely useful and helpful. So let's go ahead and lock the car. So let's say you're walking up to the car, you know you have your keys on you, but you can't find them. As soon as you put your hand in the handlebar, the car detects that you have the key and it automatically unlocks. Open up, you get in, hold down the brake, you start the car, you're good to go. So let's say now you arrived at your destination, you get out the car. You don't even need to take out your key fob, even though I have it in my pocket. All you gotta do, press this little button here, the car locks up, and you're good to go. I find that to be extremely convenient because a lot of times I will have my keys in my pocket or in my bag and I can't seem to find them. But because the car knows that I have the key fob on me or that it's within the vicinity of the car, it'll automatically unlock once I put my hand on the handle and I'm good to go. It might be minor and I'm pretty sure that a lot of cars have this nowadays, but I find it to be extremely convenient. So yeah, next thing. The next thing is, of course, the miles per gallon. The Prius, I believe, gets about 48 on the highway, 50 in the city. So obviously the biggest advantage of getting 48 to 50 miles per gallon is how much money you're gonna save, especially if you have a long commute. For me, luckily, my commute is only about 10 miles to work, so I only really have to fill up about maybe every other week or so. I don't know. I mean, I've only had the car for about 2 weeks. This might be actually the biggest convenience of having a Prius, and why I think most people get the car is to save money on gas. And of course, who doesn't like a little extra money in their pocket? This 2008 Prius has I think 11.9 gallon tank. The RAV4 that we have behind us, I think it's somewhere about 14 or 15 gallons. And we find ourselves filling that thing up a lot more often. I mean, it's obvious, it's an all-wheel drive, it's a 2014. So it is gonna eat up a lot more gas than the Prius will. Of course, the car is not very sporty. You're not gonna be breaking any speed records. I think 0 to 60 is somewhere in the time frame of like 10 or 11 seconds. Yeah, pretty slow. You're not gonna be winning any races. You're not gonna be overtaking anybody on the highway. Nothing of that matter. It does take time for it to get up to speed. So this is not a car you are gonna be going super fast in. And last but not least is gonna be regenerative braking. For those who don't know what that is or how it works, with regenerative braking, whenever you apply the brakes or coast, the electric motor of the hybrid powertrain functions as an electrical generator and will capture the kinetic energy. That energy is then stored by the battery. So rather than using conventional brakes, a regenerative braking system puts the engine into reverse to conserve energy and create electricity. In my opinion, one of the biggest conveniences to having regenerative braking is that it reduces the wear and tear on the brake pads, which will save you money in the long run. And on the Prius, it's actually really easy to do. This is usually where I keep my hand when I'm driving to constantly use the regenerative braking. Okay, everyone, so that's gonna do it for me. So those are, I think, 4 of the biggest conveniences with the Prius. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, please like the video. It goes a long way. And you guys have a good rest of your day. Peace.